All right, good afternoon, everybody. Want to continue the thoughts from this morning, although I also don't have that much time till I get home. I'm not saying this in any way to be Melamed Schus, to say anything positive about Avodah Zarah. But the reason why I'm saying these things is really to refute the claims of the Avodah Zarah, of the Avodah Zarah, to refute the claims of the heathens and the pagans who claim that we're groveling at the feet of our desert god, and they're buddies with their gods, which is what they claim. And back to what we said before about how perhaps we could say these are not gods, these are angels, these are whatever other types of spirits. I'm not denying the existence or affirming the existence of these beings. However, we are not allowed to worship anything but the Creator, according to Judaism. At least in our religion. And there is an idea of fellowshipping with other fellow creatures and creation. We have it in our liturgy that we come together with the angels to worship the Creator. That's a major part of the Jewish liturgy, is that we are united together with the angels. And we are united together, as the scripture tells us, as the Psalms tell us in many places, with nature in this common goal of worshiping the Creator. And so I can, again, commiserate, even though with, these practices that other religions and the pagan religions and so forth, that they have of fellowshipping with beings that are non-human and might be classified as supernatural or spiritual beings, or some other form of ideology, whether they're talking about Jungian archetypes. This was something I was talking to this rabbi about yesterday, and he said that because a lot of the pagans don't actually believe that their gods are real, but rather understand them to be Jungian archetypes, they're not, if it is some sort of a unclean spirit that they're dealing with. And the thing is, it's certainly clear that some of the gods that have been worshipped in pagan history have been holy angels that do worship the Creator, and that have, we could say, mistakenly been worshipped, and even to a certain extent that's been granted. Meaning if someone, there's stories about a particular pagan temple where people were being healed. It was known as some kind of a god of healing, a god of medicine, and people were being healed, and one rabbi wanted to look into what was going on, and so he was there, and he met who he recognized, the angel. He knew this angel, and he asked, well, what are you doing here? He said, well, these people, they're coming with their ignorant devotions, but they're not, they're not doing anything evil by seeking to be healed. And was the angel Raphael, the angel Raphael himself, who came, or whatever that means, not necessarily himself, means that an angel came doing that deed of Raphael, of Raphael, had temporarily that title while he was performing God's mission that he sent him on of healing. But the message that we have here, what I want to bring up, though, despite that aspect, that's not really what I want to bring out. What I really want to bring out was something different, was that they claim that here we are groveling, begging at the feet of our desert God, the way they will say it. The ones who are, kind of critical of our religion. And I get that they're proud of what they have, and they're, but and that here they are, they're buddies with their gods, and they're sharing a beer with them, literally. But the thing is, and sure, it depends on maybe what branch of Christianity you're talking about. You're not going to be sharing a beer with God, right? Although there is an idea of perhaps, in Christianity of sharing a dinner with, sitting down and having dinner with Jesus. That's part of the Christian. It's something that's mentioned in the New Testament that, if you'll call upon him, he'll come and have dinner with you. And obviously it means something, it doesn't mean it literally, although I remember there was a TV show on a Christian channel where they acted that out, that, Jesus came and had dinner with somebody, and every episode was a different person who wanted to have dinner with Jesus, and he came. From the Christian perspective. Obviously, in the Jewish perspective, we don't have that concept of that avatar that Christianity has, of God coming in the person of the Messiah. But the truth is, we do have a concept that God should just be your best friend. That's something certainly the Hasidic teachings, particularly from the Breslover Hasidim, to just talk to God like you ever saw Fiddler on the Roof, where Tevye, he would just talk to God, just talk to him. In addition to our set liturgy that we're required to follow, he would just constantly be having a conversation with God, and that is a traditional Hasidic approach to be friends with God, and also to, again, you have some of the more puritanical Christians, I understand, but even those, they enjoy life. They're not, just because maybe they're teetotalers doesn't mean that they don't enjoy the world. They just similar to how the Muslims, are opposed to the use of alcohol. That's their tradition, and I don't have a problem with that. But in our tradition, the truth of the matter is, anything that's permitted, which includes most alcoholic beverages, are kosher, as long as you use it in a responsible way, obviously. You don't be an idiot, You, you're kind of expected in our tradition to make this a holy occasion. And what I kind of feel is, yes, no, so, and in a way, you're sharing that experience, not in the sense of a peer, the way that the pagans do, that they have a peer relationship with their deities, with these beings that they are fellowshipping with. No, we recognize God as the creator, but he's our father. So in a sense, it's like maybe, having a beer with your dad, right? I don't like beer personally, but I like other alcoholic beverages. I tried these new hard seltzers. There was one that had a hechsher on it, but I didn't like it because it had the cane sugar. It was a little too bitter. I didn't like the flavor I didn't like the taste of the cane sugar. But I bought the 12-pack, so I'll make my way through it in a few weeks over Shabbos, or a few months, perhaps, more likely. Maybe one. I don't drink that much, but when do I drink? On a holy occasion, on Shabbos, or if it's the yahrzeit of a tzaddik, or it's Rosh Chodesh, or something that I want to bring in some more physical delight into spiritual activity. So certainly Judaism, it's a fun religion, you know, uh, especially Orthodox Judaism. The Reform and the Conservative are very austere and very somber and solemn in their temples. And I grew up going to Reform temples a little bit, not that much, but I went to Hebrew school in the Reform temple, and usually if I went to shul, it would be the Orthodox shul. But whenever I went to a Reform temple, you have this feeling that it's like a churchy feeling, Whereas you go to an Orthodox shul, you're at home, you're with your friends, you're worshiping God, fulfilling your obligations, but it's fun, especially and especially days like Simchas Torah, Purim goes without saying, but even just a regular Shabbos, it's a fun day. Um, and even with mundane things, I've often taught that if you're, I know a lot of people do not watch television as a religious devotion. They avoid watching television videos. A lot of people in our community, and I applaud them and respect them, and they're probably right. I'm not on that level, right? But I watching appropriate like old movies, and usually it's just to help me fall asleep. I don't really have that much time to watch TV or movies. I'm mostly learning Torah, working, spending time with my family, but sometimes even as a family bonding thing, we'll go to a movie, especially if it's an old movie that we know is clean. But I don't always do this, but I teach it. I should practice what I preach, but once in a while I do. And I should do it more, or you can do it in a collective sense, in a general sense. You enjoy something like that. You go to a concert, you go to a movie, you go to a play, you read a book, even a secular book. You should thank God for that experience. Thank God for giving the eyes to see, the ears to hear, all of the chemicals in your brain to enjoy something like that, to recognize that that's a gift from God, and so that uplifts those mundane, even not only the mundane activities that we have to do, like eating and sleeping and so forth, that we should lift up, but even optional things, even things that are maybe a waste of time. And the same thing, sports or whatever. I'm not into sports either. That's me. I don't like beer. I don't like sports, but I like movies and I like TV shows. And I'll have sometimes the some other alcoholic drinks, but it's with God, and God is our friend, and we can talk to Him as our buddy. But also, like a father will say to his son, "Buddy, how you doing?" That's really, and yet our relationship is not with some created being, even a very powerful one, but ours is with the first cause, with the Creator, who's omnipotent and omnipresent, who fills all worlds, surrounds all worlds, and fills us and surrounds us, and therefore our life, we are living in a devotion to God, where we recognize ourselves as part of that unity instead of this division of a pantheon. We're united, recognizing really the whole universe is totally one, and that sure we're just a drop in the bucket compared to our infinite Creator, and our universe is finite, but it's a creation of God. But that God fills all worlds and surrounds all worlds, and He's within us all the time and everywhere. His glory fills the whole universe. And so that's what, something that I love about my religion. And I'm not knocking anybody else's religion. I'm just saying, I'm just defending my religion to those who claim that it's austere, it's very subservient. No. All of these things that God tells us to do are to lift us up, because He's smarter than us and He knows what's best for us, and it's for our benefit. We don't do mitzvahs for God. We do them for us to connect to God, but it's for our benefit. God doesn't need us. We need Him. Thank you for watching. God bless. Please like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you later.